come from. So it's going to be from protein, fat, carbohydrates, and fiber-rich foods. So we're going to talk about alcohol for a minute, because when it comes to calories, calorie deficit, looking to lose weight, alcohol can be lethal because it's so high in calories and you consume it so easily. And then the food choices you make while you're drinking and the food choices you make after you're drinking can really have a negative effect on your calorie intake. So just bear in mind that 3,500 is the number of calories in a pound of fat. And if you were to have a 5-ounce glass of wine every night for 4 weeks, so 28 days, that's going to equate to 3,500 calories. So if you've gotten to the end of the day and you've eaten above or just maintaining what your calorie allowance should be, and then you go and have a sneaky glass of wine, that's going to lead to an extra pound of fat by the end of the month. So just please bear that in mind when you open that bottle of wine. If you're going to have a glass or 2 or 3, you just got to make sure that you're sticking within your calories. I'm not a big calorie advocate, but it helps to actually see the picture as it should be. So a pound of fat. So if you're looking to lose 10 pounds of fat, that's 35,000 calories. So if you were looking to cut your calories by 100 a day, it would take you just under a year to lose 10 pounds. Now you wouldn't really notice it because it's easy to drop 100 calories from your day to day, but it's going to take you a year to lose that 10 pounds. If you cut your calories by 250 a day, it would take you like 3 months, 140 days give or take, to lose that 10 pounds. And if you were to reduce your calories by 500 a day, it would take you just over 2 months to lose 10 pounds. But you might lose your mind, you might lose your partner, you might lose your job, because you're going to be irritable. You're not going to be fun to be around. And what tends to happen is, after that 2 months, you feel like shit because you've deprived yourself, but you feel great because you've lost that 10 pounds. But then you just go back to your old school eating habits, back to upping your calorie allowance, and you tend to gain that 10 pounds back, if not more. That's why you want to change your lifestyle as opposed to your diet. If you were to reduce your calories by 250 or 100, it's not going to have a massive impact on your emotional state. When you drop your calories by 500, you're constantly thinking about food, you're just wanting to fuel your body. You're lethargic, you're tired, you're grumpy. It's not the place to be, and I wouldn't recommend it. So just to go over a little bit about calories and alcohol. So if you were to have a pint of beer, there's 150, 155 calories in a pint of beer. A pint of Guinness, there's 210. A shot of vodka, there's like 64, but you got to consider what you're going to mix that vodka with. A lot of people don't drink it on its own. Red wine, 125 calories per 5 ounce. So we're going to talk about protein. So protein is the first macronutrient. So a macronutrient is carbohydrates, protein, and fat. They're the big nutrients. A micronutrient is the smaller nutrients like vitamins, minerals. So we're going to focus on the macronutrients. So protein is the base of what your calorie intake should be based around. So because the protein is essential for growth and repair, so the body, it's the major building block of the body. So if you're not getting enough protein in your diet, your body tends to break down your muscles to get that protein that it needs. Protein also, it uses calories to break it down. So this is the thermogenic effect. So just be aware, if you were to eat a high protein diet, you're going to be burning more calories, as opposed to eating a carbohydrate high diet, you're not going to be burning as many calories. These are just little tips along the way. But do you know how many grams of protein you should be consuming on a daily basis? This is all based on your activity level. So if you just want to maintain some sort of health and you're very sedentary, you want to be eating about 1.2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. If you're somewhat active, you want to be eating between 1.4 and 1.6 grams. If you're an athlete and you're training multiple times a week, maybe even a day, it's 1.6 to 2 grams of protein a day. Take a screenshot of that. Remember it. So how to calculate? First of all, for anyone who is not used to kilograms, you take your body weight either in kilos or in pounds. If you're in pounds, divide that by 2.2 and it's going to give you your weight in kilos. So if you're 140 pounds, divided by 2.2, work out how many kilograms you are. So pick which protein amount you require from this list above. So if you're moderately active, so you work out 3-4 days a week, you're going to go with 1.5 grams. So what you're going to do is you multiply your body weight in kilograms by the amount of protein recommended. Then multiply the total gram amount of protein by 4 calories per gram. So let's take a 38-year-old female. She's 5'3", she weighs 135 pounds and is active 3 to 4 days a week. She should consume 2,098 calories to maintain her current weight. So if you want to get into a deficit, it's going to be 15 calories off, 15% of calories off that, which is 315. So her daily calorie allowance is now 1,800 or 1,783 a day. This is very manageable. So how to calculate? Here it is. So find your body weight in pounds, convert it into kilograms, and then we're going to go 1.6. You're going to multiply 1.6 by your weight in kilos, and it's going to consume to 98 grams of protein daily. And the amount of calories consumed via protein is 98 multiplied by 4, because there's 4 calories per gram of protein, and this equals 392 calories. So ideally you should be eating about 400 calories coming from protein a day. So fat. Your fat calories should make up at least 20% of your overall calories. You can go over that, but it should be at least 20% of your calories. Fat is super important for anti-inflammatory reasons. Your nervous system, your brain, it's all made up of fat. Every cell in your body, the membrane is made of fat, so you need to be consuming fat to make sure your cells are communicating optimally. As you can see on the screen, there's refined oils, and then in my opinion there's good fats. If you buy an oil and it comes in a plastic clear bottle, don't consume it. Fat goes rancid. If this fat is not going rancid in those bottles, it's not nutrient dense enough for you to be consuming. It's not going to do you any favors. So salmon, eggs, green food contains some amount of omega-3, nuts, seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, walnuts. Look to get those in. So fat is important because it helps control inflammation, it maintains hormone production, lifts mood, and is super important in the brain and nervous system. When it comes to choices of fat, try and make sure you stick with grass-fed dairy, eggs, meat, wild fish, organic nuts, seeds. And when it comes to using oils, you're going to go with olive, flax, coconut. Try and limit any fried food that have been cooked in refined vegetable oils. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go. So, how to calculate your fat. For example, so from the above example, let's say 20% of her 1,800 calories is about 360 calories. So 360 calories of her diet should be coming from fat. So you take 360 and you divide it by 9, because there's 9 calories per gram of fat, and that's going to equal 40 grams of fat a day. So to recap, her protein allowance should be 400 calories a day from protein, and her fat allowance should be 40 grams of fat a day, which is 360 calories. So the rest of your diet is going to come from carbohydrates, essentially. So you're also going to put fiber in there in your carbohydrates, and you should be consuming between 25 and 40 grams of calories from fiber a day. So if you go with 25 grams of fiber, which is 4 calories, that's 100 grams, which equates to, 100 calories, which equates to 40 grams. So she should be consuming between 100 to 160 calories of fiber a day. So how to calculate your carbohydrate intake. So her protein allowance is 400 calories. Her fat allowance is 360 calories. This is going to leave her with about 750 calories. Sorry, this is 750 calories. This is going to leave her with about 1,000 calories that can come from carbohydrates. So you want about 100, 160 coming from fiber. If you're going to drink alcohol, it's going to come from here. And if you are, so the main thing you need to make sure is that most of your calories that you're hitting that protein goal. Then you're going to hit your fat goal. Then you hit your fiber goal, and then pretty much the rest of your calories can come from more carbohydrates, or they can come from back to protein and fat. So a calorie is a calorie, but is it really a calorie? So people say that a calorie is a calorie, so it doesn't matter if the rest of your calories come from candy or from McDonald's, or from protein or from eggs or chicken. Well, technically this is true. If you're looking to lower your weight, you really want to make sure that you're increasing your health at the same time. So try and choose foods and carbohydrates that support your health. So it's best to look for nutrient-dense foods, so fruits, nuts, beans, whole grains, eggs, seeds, and not refined foods and alcohol. So how many calories do you consume in the food you eat? Processed foods are easier to absorb, which means you will absorb more calories from the food. So let's take corn as an example. If you're to eat 100 grams of corn and you look in the toilet 12 to 18 hours later, you look in the toilet bowl and you're going to look down and you're actually going to see yellow pieces of corn still in the toilet bowl. Does that mean that you actually digested and absorbed the 100 grams of corn? No, because some of it's still in the toilet bowl. But if you were to eat a tortilla made from 100 grams of corn and you look into the toilet bowl 12 to 18 hours later, there's going to be less evidence of that corn because you can't see anything that's yellow, which means that you absorb more of it. So my point here is the more processed the food is, the easier it is for you to absorb those calories. And the more processed that food is, the generally higher calories it is, as in it's generally refined. So if you take sugar, for example, you will absorb 98% of the calories from sugar. But if you're to eat 100 grams of corn, you're not going to absorb 98% of the calories from the corn because you can still see it in the toilet bowl when it's on the way out. So if you're eating foods that are more refined, you're actually absorbing more calories. So bear that in mind. You're not trying to cheat the system, but the more unrefined your diet is, you don't actually absorb all those calories all the time. But the more refined your diet is, the more chance you have of absorbing all of those calories. So the problem is that you can be an ideal weight and not healthy if your remaining calories are coming from refined carbohydrates and processed fats. Refined carbohydrates and processed fats can lead to inflammation in the body. Inflammation is a root cause of disease. So to maintain health and well-being, you're looking to keep inflammation to a minimum and provide your body with nutrient-dense foods. So if you could eat McDonald's every day for the rest of your life, but stay within your calorie allowance, and ideally you shouldn't put on weight because you are only eating within your calorie allowance. If you are this person, you're not going to be healthy on the inside because your body's missing out on vital nutrients like your protein, your fats, your carbs, your vitamins, your minerals. Your body's not getting what it needs. So yes, you might look skinny on the outside, but you're not going to be healthy on the inside. And that's my overall goal for you. If you have any questions, anything to get back on calories, calorie deficit, alcohol, protein, carbohydrates, fats,